How Total started, grew, and became a $242 billion company. In hindsight, Total SA had been founded out of self-preservation for France's economy. Where other countries invited foreign oil companies to exploit their oil wealth, France shut their doors and took a more bold approach along the lines of, if we want something done, best do it ourselves. Now, Total's multinational status in the oil and gas industry has become a household name across service stations throughout the world. How Total started. World War I may have ended in 1918, but its devastating effects rippled throughout Europe for decades. France was one of those affected countries, having suffered the most casualties from their war against Germany on the Western Front. And so as the French population plunged, so did its economy. To compensate for the reduced workforce, the French government bore the cost of imports and treatment for the wounded millions who survived the war. It will take more than a decade or so before the French economy will take off. The Treaty of Versailles in 1919 was a step on the road to recovery. The peace treaty may have ended the war, but one of its conditions stipulated that Germany and her allies take full responsibility for the war by paying reparations to affected countries. Germany obliged, but France's economy would need more than a band-aid solution. And the Prime Minister of France, Raymond Poincaré, knew this truth too well. Prime Minister Poincaré was a man that could be described as reliable and patriotic. In the best interest of his nation's economy, he rejected the partnership offer from Royal Dutch Shell to obtain France's 25% share of the Mesopotamia's oil fields. During the San Remo Oil Agreement of 1920, Britain had granted France 25% of oil production from the Turkish Petroleum Company, TPC. In 1923, Prime Minister Poincaré appointed French industrialist Ernest Messier. Since the war ended, Messier made great strides in France's electricity sector, constructing thermal and hydroelectric power plants. Prime Minister Poincaré tasked Messier to build an oil company that would develop France's petroleum sector. In 1924, Messier founded the French Petroleum Company, also known as the Compagnie Française de Pétrole (CFP), with the backing of French banks and other oil distributing companies. The French government transferred 25% of its stake in TPC to CFP to begin oil extraction in Kirkuk, Iraq. In 1932, CFP operated its first oil refinery in Normandy, France. How Total grew. CFP wasn't limited to oil exploration in the Middle East. In the 1930s, CFP expanded its operations to the oil-rich Venezuela, US, Canada, and Africa. Like Iraq, CFP extracted and shipped crude oil from these regions to its Normandy refinery. In fact, the demand for more refined oil prompted CFP to build a second oil refinery at Provence in 1935. Both of these refineries supplied 20% of France's demand for refined oil, with the rest sold to independent distributors. This extracting, shipping, refining chain of operations enabled CFP to become more of a vertically integrated company before World War II. However, unlike most oil companies at the time, CFP lacked the final link to their supply chain distribution. During World War II, Messier fell out of favor with the then Vichy regime legislation after his refusal to distribute American Red Cross relief supplies. He resigned his position as CFP chairman in 1940. Within the same year, Jules Menin assumed the position as the new chairman, until the Nazis captured and sent him to Dachau concentration camp in 1943. Menin's successor, Marcel Champlain, served barely 2 years before his death in 1945. His deputy, Victor de Metz, succeeded Champlain and will serve for the next 25 years. Meanwhile, in 1946, CFP's post-war expansion constituted a new addition from North Africa and then French colony Algeria. In a bid to address their lack of distribution facilities in 1954, CFP launched their downstream product with its brand name Total throughout Africa and France. A move for a strong brand presence in these countries, which meant that service stations associated with CFP's independent distributors required a fresh coat of paint in Total colors and logo. Times were hard for these independent distributors as more and more oil companies realized how much profit they could control through owning their own distribution facilities. CFP soon purchased some of these independent distributors. By 1957, CFP, through its subsidiary, Total Petroleum North America Limited, expanded from Canada to the United States. In 1980, Total Petroleum North America Limited also purchased an oil company, Vickers Petroleum, including its Oklahoma refinery and 350 service stations in 20 states. The Total brand for gasoline became popular during the 1980s, and in order to enhance their brand's presence in the market, CFP changed its name to Total CFP in 1985. In 1989, Total Petroleum acquired 125 retail locations throughout Texarkana of Texas under several brand names: Vickers, APCO, Roadrunner, and Total. Total CFP rebranded itself as Total in 1991, along with its service stations and retail stores under the other brand names in 1993. During these years, Total became recognized as a public company on the New York Stock Exchange. As a result, the French government lessened their stakes from 30% to 1%, thus leaving a significant percentage of shares to foreign companies. In 1997, the newly merged oil and gas company Ultramar Diamond Shamrock purchased the refining and retailing facilities of Total North America Limited for $400 million. In 1999, Total purchased and merged with Belgian oil company Petrofina to form Total Fina. A year later, Total Fina became Total Fina Elf after a merger with French oil company Elf Aquitaine. The brand name will revert to Total in 2003, along with the rebranded Total Globe logo that is used until today. That same year, Total acquired 30% stake in the gas exploration of Sheba oil fields, Rub Al Khali, Saudi Arabia. In 2006, Total and Saudi Arabian oil company Saudi Aramco signed a memorandum of understanding to develop their proposed Jubail export refinery. Total in recent years. In 2012, the China Petrochemical Corporation purchased 20% of Total's stake in its Nigerian offshore project for $2.5 billion. Alongside other oil companies, Total began commercial oil production in the offshore Kashagan field, Kazakhstan zone of the Caspian Sea in 2013. In 2014, Total became the first major international company to acquire exploration rights to UK's shale gas in Gainsborough, Troy, Lincolnshire. Total experienced a $5.7 billion loss in the final quarter of 2015. To compensate this loss, the company sold an equivalent worth of its assets while slashing 180 jobs in the UK and its global exploration rights by 30%. In 2016, with regards to curbing carbon emissions and global warming, Total set a long-term objective to have 20% low-carbon businesses by 2035. Speaking of low-carbon businesses, Total made strides with their renewable energy and electricity ventures in recent years. In mid-2016, Total purchased French battery maker Saft Group SA for $1.1 billion and Belgian gas and renewable energy supplier Lampiris for $224 million. In 2017, Total signed a $4.8 billion deal with Iran for the development and production of the South Pars North Dome gas condensate field. Within the same year, Total became the second operator in the North Sea after the acquisition of the Danish oil and gas company Maersk Oil for $7.4 billion in a share and debt transaction. Today, Total SA is a multinational oil and gas company operating in several areas of interest in the oil and gas supply chain, including crude oil exploration and refining, chemical manufacturing, natural gas exploration and production, petroleum product marketing, and renewable energies in solar and biomass technology. Total SA is known today as one of the 7 oil and gas super majors in the world, with a revenue of about $171 billion and 98,277 employees as of 2017. Total SA headquarters is located at Tour Total, Coppeville, France, and has its 903 subsidiaries operating throughout more than 130 countries. As at 2017, Total's assets was valued at $242.63 billion. Thank you for watching our videos. We'd like to give you another interesting video for you to enjoy next. But before then, our team will be very happy if you can like this video and share it with your friends on social media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. Look at your screen now to see 2 other videos we handpicked for you to enjoy next. We love you.